Hello, I just wanted to go ahead and share my experience with Kenneka Jenkins' funeral. So I did drive all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana to head to Chicago. It was only about 2 hours and 40 minutes, actually closer to get to the south side than it is to get downtown. So I did go, and it was actually less trouble than what I expected. It was really easy to get into the parking lot. There was no hesitation. There was no pauses. There was no gaps in between. There was just no traffic whatsoever. It was very easy to pull into the parking lot and find a parking spot. When I walked in there, it was less people than what I expected. I was expecting to see a football field full of people, but really it was just people that covered the front of the area, the left and right side of the area. Then there were people who filled the middle section of the balcony. It was less people than what I expected. And I'm actually wondering why so many people didn't attend. You got all these people all over the internet, thousands of people who are talking about the situation. You had thousands of people who attended the protest, but they didn't show up for the funeral. I just think that's kind of odd. People that I talked to at work were saying that they were over it. A lot of people had given up. A lot of people became very exhausted. And people are just returning to their daily lives. And it's actually pretty sad because people can get fired up for the first couple of weeks and then they just go back to doing what they were doing. They're not truly standing for what's right. They're just only doing it for the moment. When I got to the casket to pay my respects, I'm just like, oh my God, this is open casket. This is not what I heard. So that just goes to show, don't believe everything you hear on the internet, because this was clearly an open casket funeral. So I was able to go up there and see her body for the first time. And I'm really weird when it comes to death. Death is my number one fear in my entire life. I've actually had nightmares about dying. I've had out-of-body experiences. I've seen demonic images. It's just been tormenting my life. And to just see her for the first time, I was up there for no more than 2.5 seconds. I just couldn't stay up there for too long. But she looks different. She looks extremely different. And for the people that snuck a picture and put it on the internet of her, you guys have no damn respect. The funeral specifically told you guys not to record, not to take any pictures of the funeral and services, and you guys did it anyway. You guys have no respect for the family, and I have no respect for people who do not respect others. Overall, I think the services for this girl was extremely powerful. The poem was great. The sermon cut me to the heart so much that I surprisingly broke out in tears. I actually cried more than what I expected. I mean, I wasn't expecting to cry because this wasn't, a person that I knew, but I was just deeply troubled by all that's been going on. A lot of our brothers and sisters are being put to death. The things that are going on, in the office, the decisions that the president is making. I mean, we could potentially see war, possibly. And it's just been so depressing. And so the sermon cut me to the heart so deeply. I mean, he went over the book of Job. Job is a really good book to read. If you guys read the Bible at all, check out the book of Job, because the book shows a lot of humility and obedience. It really teaches you to just be humble before God, despite all the things that are going on. And the way he compared that to Teresa's life and how she's been inflicted with cancer, how the daughter was the sacrifice in the hopes that love and unity would be created amongst everyone. And that was so powerful. It was so powerful that he, compared Mother Teresa to Job, the situation of Job, because Job lost everything and he had done nothing wrong. He was a righteous man. He, believed in God. He was very loyal to God. He had everything, wealth. He had donkeys. He had gold, silver. He had his children. He had everything. And God has given it to him. All of it was taken away from him. And he was basically put to the test. How strong and faithful is he gonna be? And that was the mother's faith. She seemed very strong. I have never seen anybody that could be so strong in the situation. Because if it were me, I don't know what I would do if I lost my mother. I would most likely need to get some help. But she stuck it through despite all the things that are happening. I mean, all you can do right now is just really trust what God is doing. I really hope and pray that we do become unified and get together in love and work together. Because frankly, the problem right now is that so many people have their own agendas and people's attention span is so low that they don't stay on the topic for too long. They just move on with their lives. And that's really scary because there's so many people back in the day, back of the civil rights movement, back of the Black Panther movement. People were fighting and protesting for what's right. And to just bring that back recently, I know that the protesting event was enormous. I heard it was about 1,800 people. I think it was last week or a couple of weeks back. Excuse me. I didn't get to attend and I really wanted to go. I was unable to go. I was able to attend the funeral to show my respects. I just really need for people to just come together and unify and just really stand up for what's right and not give up so easily. At that point, when you give up so easily, you lose your why. Why are you really doing this? Are you doing this to boast? Are you doing this to show that you've done it? Or are you really doing it sincerely and genuinely doing it? It's to create an impact to the government, to show that this is power right here. And we're not going to sleep. We're going to work hard to create a change. Do not let this little girl be forgotten. We all need to band together and figure out what we can do because this is excessive. All of it, it's excessive. So many Black people have lost their lives. I just think that if we can just stay on one spectrum, if we can just agree to one thing and not be divided, we can be very successful. We just need to stick together and come up with solutions on what we need to do to stop this because this is out of control. But yeah, the funeral was very powerful. Very powerful. It cut me to the heart deeply because anyone can die, and we have no idea when our time is going to come. But people do not take that seriously. They do not. There's so many people that are moping around, waking up every day, doing the same repetitive cycle and don't get anything done. And they don't care. They lose hope and motivation, inspiration. They lose it all. And they don't know how serious it is to lose their life because that's all we have. We don't have 9 lives. It's not like we can start over. No, when it's over, it's over. There's a scripture in Ecclesiastes that talks about that. Like you only have one life, and once you reach the death, I'm only paraphrasing what the scripture said. I can't really remember word for word, but they said when it's over, there's no planning, there's no knowledge, there's no wisdom. It's over. What's done is done. You can't go back and change it. We need to take these matters seriously because we are getting older. Time is moving forward, and we will never get the time, this very second, the very split second that goes by, we do not get it back. So what are we going to do to cherish the moments that we have on this crooked planet? Are we going to start conditioning our minds with peace and love instead of hatred, jealousy, envy, anger, depression? Are we going to condition our minds with peace and love as we move forward in our lives? Are we going to take our lives seriously? Because at the end of the day, when it's over, it's over. Yeah, I can get really, really emotional when it comes to these topics. But I just want to thank the mother for inviting me and inviting the public. And it was just really eye-opening. I hope it was for other people.